in Sydney, Australia. Welcome, welcome. This is only take 2 today. So I got on much quicker today. I'm getting the hang of this YouTube live. And I realized that there was an extra setting that I didn't click. So the first time I actually went to go live, I didn't realize. And every other week I've tried, I didn't realize until today. So I think I worked it out. So that should be good. I should get on first time, hopefully, fingers crossed, each time now. So awesome. Alrighty, now let me just adjust my camera. And I'm going to bring this live up on my computer so I can see comments there if anybody is jumping on live today. Okay, let me have a look over here. I'll just see if I can see this live, and I can. Awesome. Oh, just need to mute my computer. There we go. Fantastic. All right. And I'm just going to pop a post over here to let everybody know over on Facebook that I am live over here on YouTube. Because people are still getting used to me going live on YouTube, because usually I'm over on Facebook. So Mondays I'm on Facebook, and now Thursdays I'm here on YouTube. I know it's a little bit confusing. All right, so let me put this here, and hopefully people can come and find us. So I have got a cute project for you today. It is going to be, whoops, hang on a sec, wrong way. It's going to be a bright and colorful project for you today. Let me find my link here, and I'll copy that link and I'll put that over here. And we will be in business. Okay. All right, let's post this up. Okay. All right, I think we're all good. All right, so yeah, so I have got a bright and colorful project today, but it's a little bit different to my normal style, but I thought, you know what, we'll give it a go and yeah, do something a little bit different. It is a more streamlined, more sort of clean project, not too fussy or anything like that. There is a little bit of die cutting and some heat embossing, so we're using a couple of techniques today, but yeah, just keeping the layout very simple. So let me share with you what we're going to be creating. So what I'll do is I will put the camera down onto the desk while I oh, and then I can show you everything. Sorry, I'm working out what I'm talking about here. Before I do that though, let me share a couple of things with you before we go down on, before we transition the camera onto the desk. I nearly forgot to share all of my news. So I'm still getting used to these YouTube lives. It's very different to doing a Facebook live. Oh, hey Brenton, how you going? Thank you for joining me. So exciting news. This week on Tuesday, we had our brand new annual catalog launch. Now, let me just turn that plastic page over. I have a plastic cover on my catalog and tends to reflect the light a little bit too much. So just turn that to the back so it's not so bad. So yeah, the Stampin' Up! Annual catalog released on Tuesday, the 2nd of May. Now this is the 2023 to 2024 annual catalog. So this one will be around for a whole year. And there are so many beautiful products in there. You'll see I've got, this is my wish list up here. So I've got a couple of rows of wish list. And now that this catalog has gone live, we are allowed to show you the inside. So I'll be able to show you the products inside the catalog that we're playing with today. Now, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you're here in Australia and you would like one of these catalogs, then please feel free to request a catalog from me. You'll find in the description of this video is a Linktree link. Under that Linktree link oh, hey Carol, how are you? All the way from Texas. Oh, fantastic. You finally caught me live. That is so cool. Thank you for being here. So you'll find in that Linktree link, if you click on that, it'll open up all of my links and then you can navigate through to where you would like to go. So I do have a catalog request form there. You can click on that and then you can go through, fill in your details so that I can get a catalog out to you. Now I can only send catalogs out to people that are here in Australia. So yeah, and if you already have a demonstrator that you're working with, then please ask your demonstrator for a catalog from them. All right, so exciting things, new catalog, lots of new products. I've put in another order, which I'm waiting to arrive. So hopefully that will be here next week. So I'll have more new product to share with you, which will be exciting. Now, with the new catalog, there's, as we know, there's always lots of new product. There's lots of designer series papers, and we want them all because, let's be honest, us crafters love paper. But to help you get a variety of papers and a bit of a sampling of them all, rather than outlaying for every one of the packs of papers, I'm actually holding a paper share. So this isn't all of the papers that are in the share, because these are just the ones that I had in my demonstrator pre-order. But there's 10 different packs in the catalog, 10 different packs of paper in the catalog that are part of my product shares. So you can get those, which is you'll get a quarter pack of 10 of the packs, a quarter pack of 10 of the paper packs, that's right. And then also too, I've got an in color share. So the beautiful new 2023 to 2025 in colors, which I've been playing with over the last couple of weeks if you've seen some of my other videos. And if you haven't, feel free to go back and check them out. But we've got, in my in color share, we've got the cardstock, designer series paper, the ribbon and the bling. So you'll get some of all of that. So I've got both of these available. You can choose one or the other, or you can choose both. So again, you'll find the registration form in my Linktree link in the description of this video. And when I share this over to Facebook, I will share all of those links over there as well. All right, so that's a bit about the new catalog and my paper share. Now also too, we have got a couple of brand new products in the online exclusives. So in the online exclusives, you'll only find them in the online store, okay? You won't find them in any catalog, and they are all for limited time. So you might remember the boho blue mini machine that we had during Celebration. It was a special joining offer for those joining during Celebration. Well, Stampin' Up! Had some surplus stock, so they've now made them available to customers, which is super exciting. Now, I haven't checked this morning in the demonstrator website to check if they are still available in case they had all sold out. So you'll have to go there and have a look. But yeah, really, really cute. Our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in the beautiful boho blue, which is one of our new in colors. That's available. Also too, we have, and this didn't print out as large as I'd liked it. So yeah, sorry about the smaller image, but there is some beautiful in color grid paper. So the grid paper is fantastic when you're crafting to keep your work surface clean. And also, you know, so that you don't get ink everywhere, and also too for if you're stamping off. It's got the grid lines on there too, so it helps you with measuring and lining things up. And it's got the beautiful designer series paper, sorry, the beautiful in colors on the bottom there of each of the grid papers. And I believe the design on here is from one of the sets, and I forget which one they said it was from. But maybe you know, and you can tell me in the comments. All right, feel free to chat with me in the comments. I would love to have you chat along with me. It makes it so much more fun to create and craft with others. We've also got here Honeybee Stamping Hive all the way from Florida. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me. It's great to have you here. All right, last thing before we get to our crafting is Stampin' Up! Has released a brand new kit this week as well. So this is the Confetti Birthday Kit. It is a shaker card kit, which is super awesome. They haven't done a shaker card kit before, so this is an first time. So you can make these 3 really simple shaker cards with this kit. So look out for that one in the online store as well. You can find that in online exclusives and also under the kit collection. So there you go. So lots and lots of new things, and of course all of the beautiful new products in the new catalog, which we're going to be playing with some of those today. Actually, I'll leave that out because I'm going to show you where to find the products that we're playing with today. All right, so without further ado, we will, hey Megan, how you going? You caught me over here on YouTube. Great to see you. All right, so I will transition the camera down to the desk. Now bear with me because it is a bit different to when I do it on Facebook. I have to do things a little bit differently here over on YouTube, and I'm still getting the hang of it. So here we go. So I'm going to cover up the camera so I don't make you dizzy while I transition. And let me just get this ready. Whoops. I nearly lost the lot then. And hopefully this week, my camera will behave itself and stay where it's meant to be, because last week it kept falling down. I think I need to change that one to there. Is that right? I think that's right. Okay, just tighten everything up. Bear with me. As I said, I'm still getting the hang of this whole YouTube thing. All right, we are nearly there. Nearly there, nearly there. I'm not sure if all of those clamps are going to stay. I hope they do. And let's flip the camera over. And there we go. Only that we have that clip there in the way. Oh, that's a pain. Okay. Let me see. How can I adjust that? I think what I need to do is to, actually, I'll just slide the camera up, see if we can get that out of the way, and perhaps if I zoom in a little, there we go. And I'll just take that back up again. And we'll see how much desk space we can fit in there like that. All right. Maybe I can zoom just a little bit more. Okay, how's that looking? We need some lights on the desk though too. That would be helpful. Okay, now the only thing is my voice is probably going to be really, really far away. In fact, yeah. I might see if I can sync up my AirPods. There we go. Let me know how the sound is. I'm just to my AirPods and see if that is any different. All right, let me see. Because I've got the camera further away from me today. So, you're catching up on 4 days of sleep, Megan. You missed during the NFL draft list last weekend. Oh, wow. Thought it's been far too long since you caught up with me. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you around. You've been MIA, missing in action. So you're loving the space suite in the new caddy? Oh, awesome. Yep. And you're getting the whole thing for your brother. Oh, fantastic. Now, something weird is going on. My, it's not actually focusing. Hang on a sec. Why is that not focusing? It's trying to focus, but it's not. Let me see if I put my catalogue here, will it focus on my catalogue? I'm just waiting to see if it catches up. Fine, nice and clear. Sounds great. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Carol. And Megan said, yep, from 3 a.m. last Thursday to 6 p.m. Sunday. Oh my goodness. Now, hang on a sec. I'm going to have to refresh my screen over here so I can see what is going on, because something weird is going on. It's not actually focusing on my catalog. So what's happening? Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. It's because hopefully that should be all good now. There we go. Okay. So it doesn't seem to be focusing very well though, does it? Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. Okay. Oh dear. All right, let's move the keyboard. We don't need that now. Yeah, so what had happened was when I was syncing my AirPods, it had the sync AirPods screen up, and so it couldn't actually, yeah, it got locked on that screen. But anyway, yeah, we're working all these things out. There we go. Okay. And something else weird just happened too. So I had the sound turned up on my iPad, and so all of a sudden I could hear myself in my AirPods. That's very distracting. All right. Brenton said, oh, you had to go and bring the bins in, Brenton. Oh, good on you. Yeah, ours got collected this morning too. I'll have to go and get ours in later. Let me just catch up on where are we? What's okay, so you've been really busy, Megan. Streamed for 12 days to Seattle. Wow. Okay, so busy, busy, busy. All right, so now we've got everything all working and lined up. Let's just move some of this up a little bit so we've got space to show you what I'm creating down on the desk here today. Okay, so here is our beautiful new catalog. Now I'm going to be playing with products, and I can show the inside of the catalog now because it has gone live. I'm going to be playing with some of the brand new designer series paper, but we're going to mix a little bit with some of the new with some of the old. So I've got an older stamp set to create with the new designer series paper. So we're going to be using the Bright and Beautiful. Now, in case you didn't know, in the front of your catalogue on page 3, you've got the list of all of the suites, and then you've got your contents of the other sections in the catalogue as well. But of course, you've got lots of stamp sets, and you know there's so many products in here. But if you're looking for the suites in particular, you've got them listed here. So we're going to page 14 and 15. So let's flick over there. And here we go. So we're going to be playing with the designer series paper from the Bright and Beautiful suite. So this paper is really bright and beautiful and fun. Great for birthdays. There's a whole suite of collection of products that coordinate beautifully together. And you'll see the stamp set there as well. Now the stamps are shown at 100%, so you can see they're quite large. If I show you next to my hand, they're quite large stamps. I don't have the stamp set or the dies or the specialty, the Gold Celebration Specialty Designer Series paper either actually. I've only got the Designer Series paper, the standard Designer Series paper. So we're going to be playing with that, and we're going to be mixing that up with some other product. So with the suites, you can purchase any of the products individually, or you can purchase the entire collection. And if you wanted to order the entire collection, there is one code here that you can put in, and then that will get you all of those products in that suite collection. And then if you want the individual products, they're listed here below. Okay, if in any of the products that have stamp sets and dies that coordinate with them as a bundle, or if they might have a punch and they come together as a bundle, you'll find them at the bottom of the page and it'll list that they are as a bundle. And when you order them as a bundle, you do save 10%. So I always advise everybody, if they're purchasing the stamp set, get the coordinating dies, because no doubt you'll want them down the track, and you'll save yourself 10%. So there you go. All right, now also too, if you are looking for all the other designer series papers, they are back here in towards the back of the catalogue on pages 128 and 129. Oh, sorry, they go further on than that. 128 to 133, in fact. Okay, and they're all listed there in alphabetical order, and so you can see an up close image of the Bright and Beautiful paper there as well as all of the other beautiful designer series papers. There's so many of them. So yeah, so check those out. All right, so let's have a look at the paper. Now I need to catch up on some of these comments. You're loving the new color refresh, Megan? Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Loving all the new colors. And this is one suite that you wanted. Yeah, this is one suite that you wanted to order. Fantastic. Oh, good. Hopefully you'll like my project today then. Brenton says Bubble Bath and Lemon Lolly are two of your favorite colors. Well, guess what, Brenton? We are using Bubble Bath and Lemon Lolly today. So there you go. So right down your alley. Love the suite, getting the coordinating, memories, and more products too. Oh, thank you for bringing that up, honeybees, actually, because I should have mentioned that too. So just after the designer series paper section is, wait, let's go back there, is memories and more cards, and they are in the same design as this designer series paper. So we've got the you'll see them over here, the Bright and Beautiful Memories and More card pack. So they coordinate with the suite. And then we've also got the Bright and Beautiful Memories and More cards in envelopes as well. So so they are great for quick and easy cards. The Memories and More cards themselves are great for your memory keeping, scrapbooking, journaling, and all that sort of thing. And we do have the 6x8 albums and the photo pocket pages that fit in them as well. So yeah, so they are beautiful products, and there's some samples there using those Memories and More cards. Yeah, so thank you so much for that, honeybees. Thank you so much for reminding me about that, because I totally forgot to mention that. I think I'm still a little bit rattled from trying to get on YouTube, because it's so different to what I'm used to. So yeah, Megan says she loves sweet sorbet as much as she doesn't usually like pink. Oh, there you go. There you go. Now, as you can see, I've got little bits and pieces in here because I have been using this paper and been designing some other projects with this as well. So I've got a few bits already chopped up in this pack, but I'll show you all of these beautiful papers. Now, this is a 48 pack of papers. They do come in 6x6 inches, which is, I think it's 15.2 by 15.2 centimeters. And you've got lots and lots of bold, bright, colorful patterns here to play with. And these just lend themselves, I think, really well to celebratory type projects, birthdays. These would be great for shaker cards. But I'm going to show you, yeah, a little bit of a different way of using these. Let me just move this up again. I just cannot get this in the right position and work out where the center of my screen is. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these pieces I've already cut, obviously. So this and this one too. So these are the front side of these papers. So you can see all these beautiful bright colors and patterns. And then if I flip these over, let's see how I can do this. There we go. Then you've got some more plainer designs on the other side that look like they're sort of painted. Look at this one. This one's great. This would be great for water or the sky. Some of these even look like this one looks like mountains in the background. Yeah, you've got green ones there you could use for grass and hills, and yeah, so really, really beautiful. So the colors in this paper are Azure Afternoon, which is one of our new colors, Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, Bubble Bath, Fresh Freesia. Oh, this one must be, this one is, I think, Fresh Freesia, and this one, I think, no, this one must be Bubble Bath. This one is Fresh Freesia. Then we've got Lemon Lime Twist, and we've got Lemon Lolly, and Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, which is this one, and then the Pretty Peacock. So actually all of those are all new colors, or they're the new core colors. So really, really beautiful colors. And they're obviously all the colors that are in the very colorful side as well. So there you go. So really fun paper. So you do get 48 sheets in the pack. So I've only shown you like a quarter of the pack, or not even a quarter, because I've cut some of them already. But yeah, you do get 48 sheets in that pack. All right. Now as I said, I don't have the stamp sets and dies, and I wanted to show you how you can mix some of the new products with some of the current products that you might have in your stash. Now, I don't have the stamp set, so I thought today we would use the Sending Smiles stamp set and the Sending Dies. Now, I purchased these not long before the last catalogue ended, so I haven't had a chance to use them yet. Now, my camera is dropping, isn't it? Because I can see it's getting lower, lower, lower. Let me just adjust it. I'll just tighten all these clamps up a bit more because they are moving. Sorry, excuse my hand in there. All right, let's see. Just adjust that a little. Could see that I could see more and more of my iPad. It's just not happy today. I can't, oh yeah, I can. How's that? No, that's not at the right angle, is it? It needs to go up a little bit. Okay, hang on a sec. I'm just going to take it up a bit. I'm so sorry, everybody. All right, I'll just do this one up again. Is that better? That looks like it might be a bit better. You can see it gradually dropping down. Is it going to stop there? Let's see. No, it's dropping down further and further, isn't it? Can you all keep an eye on it for me and let me know if it drops down too far? Okay. Is it still dropping? Ever so slowly, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye on that. I think it's, yeah, it's just really, really, I'm not sure which part of it is actually dropping, because I've got everything done up really tight. I can't do anything up tighter, I don't think. Oh, that one I can. Here we go. Let's see how that goes. Oh boy. I think because I've got the arm of my stand is extended out as far as it can go, and maybe it's just a little bit too far and it's just too much weight on it. I wonder how I can, I'll have to think about how I can do that a different way. Anyway, moving right along. We'll see how we go. Oh, thank you, Megan. Thank you. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Yeah, just YouTube lives are a bit different to Facebook lives, like just the setup and everything. And so all the controls are different and things like that. And it's just a little bit more technical. So I'm still learning. This is only, I think, my think this is just my third YouTube live, because I'm still going live over on Facebook on Monday afternoons, but Thursday mornings are now over here on YouTube, and I'm still getting the hang of it. So thank you everyone for being patient with me. All right, so I'm just scrolling comments to see what I have missed, and I'll talk to you more about this. Megan says she loves the cards and envelopes. Everyone's loving the new colors. Yes, fantastic. Megan loves them for scrapbooking. Love the patterns on the DSP. Yeah, watercolor. Yes, they are watercolored. Yes, and love lemon lime twist. Yeah, I'm really happy with lemon lime twist as well. I'm glad it's come back. All right, so moving right along. I think the camera is stable now. It's not particularly straight, but I don't want to touch it again. While it's happy, I just want to leave it alone. So yeah, we'll just deal with what we've got right now. Okay, so sending smiles. I thought that I would try and use this with the new paper, but because the paper is so bright, I thought, I'm not sure how the flowers will go. Anyway, I'll show you what I came up with. Okay, so I've got, let me talk to you about my inspiration. So I was looking through all of the colors, or all of the patterned papers, and the one that I really liked that I wanted to work with was this one. Now I've cut it down already to the size that I need for today's project. But I thought, I really love this, and I want to see what I can do with this using that stamp set. So yeah, I thought it would just be something a little bit different. And I pulled some inspiration from the Saying Thanks card kit. If you haven't seen this one, this is a really great card kit. But this one here sort of used similar sort of colors. They're not the same, but similar sort of colors. And it had the words on there as well. So I thought, okay, let's take some inspiration from that and do something in line with that. But of course, you know, I've changed it up. It's not going to be exactly like this. It's going to be quite different, but this is where my inspiration came from. So I wanted to just share that with you. Okay, now I've got all my little bits and pieces here as well. So here's what we need for today. These are all of my layers. Okay, so we are just starting with a base card of basic white. So this piece measures 21 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters, and it's scored and folded in the middle at 10.5. It's half of an A4 sheet. Okay, so our DSP comes in A4, and you can also purchase it in a multi-pack in 12 by 12 if you like them for scrapbooking and memory keeping. Just using plain basic white as the base today. Then we've got some colors. Here we go, Brenton. See, look, I must have known something. So we have got the new Bubble Bath and Lemon Lolly. So these are going to be our 2 layers. Then we've got our Designer Series paper, and we've got some vellum as well, because I thought, as much as I love this paper, it is really bright. So I wanted to make sure that my sentiment was going to stand out on this. So I'm using a little bit of vellum just to soften it a touch. Okay, so that's what we are using. Now we've got some other colors here as well that we are going to use for some accents. So, well, that was a spare white piece I might need. We're going to be doing, we've got a little bit of Lemon Lime Twist. We've got some of the Azure Afternoon, and we've got a little bit more Lemon Lolly and, oh my goodness, now I've gone blank. I just said it. What is this one again? Bubble Bath. That's it. Bubble Bath. Sorry, everyone. I'm still getting my head around all of the new colors. Yeah, so we're going to use some of these. We're going to include these as some accents, and we're going to do some accents with these as well. So you might think, oh my goodness, they don't look so great all together, although I know Megan will like these 2 because they are the color of her football team. But yeah, you'll see how I coordinate all these together, and they do look good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start with our die cutting. And so I'll pop all these ones away for the moment. We're going to start with our die cutting and our stamping, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, I have gone ahead and made some ahead of time, but I'm going to show you how to create them. All right, so this is the sending from the sending dies, and I've used 2 dies here and layered them inside of each other, so I'll show you how I've created that. And then I've stamped a card to say hello from this one, and we've done some embossing here, so I'll show you how to do heat embossing on that piece. And then we're going to use some of these little tiny dies in here, these little tiny flowers, as our accent, as our little accents for our card. Okay, so we'll start with that. Let's start with our stamping first. So we need some black cards. Oh, actually, you know what? No, we're going to do die cutting first, because no, we're not. We're doing stamping first. Sorry, I'm all over the place today, people. Oh my goodness. It's all right. All good. I was just trying to remember which order I did it in last night, but I did do stamping first and then die cutting. So let's do that. All right, so I am stamping a card just to say hello. So we do have all these beautiful floral pieces on here. Now these images are only shown at 80%, just so they can all fit on the cover there, but you'll notice that the stamps, if I open the case, they're quite a bit larger. So that's the imagery full size there. So it's a photopolymer stamp set. They're clear, you can see through them. The sending stamp does actually coordinate with the dies as well. Okay, and all of these have dies also. And then for the labels or the sentiments, there's 2 different label dies. So I'll open these and show you. Whoops, my vellum caught there on the back. So there's 2 different label dies. There's this one here, which fits the shorter ones, the shorter sentiments, which is what we're using today. And then there's this longer one, which fits these longer sentiments here as well. Okay, and so you've got all the dies there that cut out all of the stamped images. Then you've got the additional word sending and the additional little flowers, which we're going to use today. Okay, all right. So let's start with our stamping first. I'll put the dies over to the side. I've got my stamp already on my block, ready to go. And we're using some Versamark ink and white embossing powder. Okay. Megan says, sadly, I can't do heat embossing. Is there any other way I could do that? So is the heat embossing to do with the smell of the powder, Megan, and your allergies, or is it the fact that you find it a difficult technique? Because if it's a problem with the technique that you're having, then I am happy to share with you some tips as I go along, which I usually do anyway. But yeah, so what is it that you find? The powder brings on asthma attack. Okay, so you don't want to be doing that then. Yeah, look, you can stamp in a color just onto some white cardstock instead, or yeah, actually that would work. That would work well. You could just stamp in Memento Tuxedo Black, or in any of the colors that coordinate with the paper, onto just white cardstock and then die cut that. So that would work for you for this project. Okay, so Versamark ink, we're going to be inking up our stamp. Now we want to save some space on here to die cut the word sending. So let's just take our die off very carefully, because it's a long die and the sticky on these sheets is very strong. Now mine didn't stick quite as hard because I had already taken it off last night, so I did struggle to get it off the sheet last night, but just be careful when you do that, that you don't bend your dies. All right, so I'm going to be die cutting my sending up there or there, and so I want to leave space down here to do my stamping. So I might actually leave that in place there. And then let's ink up our stamp. And I'm just going to stamp my sentiment down here somewhere. Now I need to leave room for the die to fit around it. So if I stamp it about there, hopefully I've left enough room. All right, we'll remove that. Now while that ink is still wet, we're going to put some embossing powder on there. So I'm going to bring in my embossing additions toolkit. It comes with all of this. So you get the tray, you get the tweezers, you get the brush, you get the, oh, I forgot to use it, didn't I? I forgot to use my my pillow. I like to call it a pillow. It looks like a pill. It looks like a little pillow. It's actually an anti-static powder inside this little pillow, and usually, especially if you're stamping onto dark colors, it's a good idea to use this first before stamping your image, so that when you go to use the powder, it's called an embossing buddy, so that when you go to use your powder, it doesn't stick to other parts of the cardstock, only to where you have put your embossing powder. But I forgot to use mine today. But that's okay. I did use it last night when I was stamping though. I did remember. All right, so you sprinkle the powder on and then tip off the excess. And then I like to use the handle of my brush to just gently tap the back of the cardstock. Now, if you get some stray little grains, which I have this time because I didn't use my embossing buddy, just give them a little brush with your brush, just very carefully around your words so that you don't take off any of the embossing powder from the words, and give it another tap, and we should be all good to go. Now, before we, actually, where's my grid paper? I did bring in some grid paper. Sadly, the small grid paper is no longer available. It has retired now, but I'm still using some of mine up. And before I even turn on my heat tool, I'm going to return my embossing powder back to the container so that I don't accidentally heat what's in the tray. So use your brush to brush all those little grains of embossing powder down into the funnel. And I did clean my embossing tray last night. So an easy way I found to clean my embossing tray was just to wipe it out really well with a baby wipe, or you can use a damp cloth. Also remember, if you're cleaning it in between colors, so if you're using some of the darker embossing powders like a gold or any of the metallics or a black, and then you're changing over to a white or clear, make sure you clean your tray in between times. Otherwise, what will happen is what has happened to me and previously, not today because I cleaned my tray, but I actually picked up some of those darker color granules of embossing powder, and they went into my white container, and then you've ruined your white embossing powder. So yeah, when you do clean it, make sure that you clean around the thread there, inside the spout and inside the lid as well, because all of those will carry the embossing powder. So I gave it all a really good clean last night, and now it's good to go for clear and white. All right, so we've got our, pop those to the side, we've got our embossing powder there on our sentiment, and now I'm going to heat up my heat tool. So on your heat tool there are two settings. So this is the Stampin' Up heat tool. It's got a little stand, which is great for resting on your desk so that you don't have the hot end touching your desk. It does have this plastic covering to protect you from the metal tip, so to protect you from burns, but it can still get a bit warm, so just be careful. There's two settings on here. There's setting number 1, which is great for drying. If you have a piece if you've done some watercoloring or something like that and you need to dry your piece, number 1 heat setting is great for that. But for heat embossing, you want to use number 2, because you need it to be a lot hotter. Okay, so all right, so we're going to heat that up. I'll just turn that on. We're going to heat that up for a moment. It's a good idea to get it a little bit warm before you use it. So just for a couple of moments, we're going to heat that up. I'm just going to hold this in my other hand. All right, and then we're going to bring it over our piece, and just hold that in place away from the cardstock a little bit, and as you see that start to melt and become glossy, you're going to move your heat tool along the cardstock. And once that's all melted, that's it, you're done. Okay, and you stop heating at that point once it melts and become glossy. If you continue to keep heating that, what would happen is the embossing powder becomes very liquidy and it will go flat and it'll actually absorb into the cardstock, so you don't want to overheat that. Now I've got a few little extra speckles there. You might not be able to see them on camera. There are a few little extra speckles there of embossing powder because I didn't use my embossing buddy, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about those today, but if I had have used my embossing buddy, I wouldn't have got those additional little speckles of embossing powder because the embossing powder would have only stuck to the Versamark ink. All right, so we've got that done. Great. Okay, we are ready to die cut that. Oh, let's clean our stamp. Always important to clean our stamp straight away. Don't leave your inks sitting on your stamp. So I'm just using my Simply Chamois. You'll see mine is very well loved and used. I just rinse it out once or twice a week. And when it gets really, really grotty or really stinky, then I chuck it in the washing machine. Mine's actually drying out a little bit too. It needs a little bit more water on it. So yeah, so you just wet this under the tap, wring it out. Yeah, as I said, I rinse mine every week until the water runs clear. They do get stained over time, but it doesn't affect how they clean. So long as you rinse them out and get rid of all that surface ink, you're good to go. Okay, so let's now die cut our sentiment, and we can die cut our sending at the same time. So we'll take our die. I've got a little bit of washi tape here, so I'll use that to hold my die in place. We'll just line that up. That's about right there. So sorry if I get my head in camera. Oh, let me bring that down a little bit closer to me so I can see. I'm trying to work out where the edge of my working area is with how I've got my camera set up, and it's a little bit tricky sometimes to work out where the center of the desk is. If I had my grid paper down, I could have worked that out, but I didn't put my large grid paper down. All right, so I'm going to just go around that with my sending die, and we'll washi tape that one down too. We'll cut that at the same time. Now make sure if you're using more than one die at a time, make sure you've got a bit of space in between them, just to help them to feed through the rollers of your die cutting machine. If you have them butted right up against each other, you might find that they don't die cut very well, because the machine needs to, you know, be able to apply the pressure to get the, you know, to get the dies to sort of cut through the cardstock. All right, I'll bring in my little mini. I don't have the boho blue mini. I just have the original white mini. Currently, it's available in boho blue as well. Oh, no worries, honeybees. Your hubby's just got home from work and you need to serve him his dinner, and you'll watch the replay later. Oh, no worries at all. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great to have you with us. Buzz you later. I love that. No worries. See you later. All right. Oh, Megan said, how did I clean the tray? Yeah, just with the baby wipe, Megan. I just cleaned it really well with the baby wipe. I just kept turning the baby wipe like inside out so that I wasn't picking up additional granules or like putting additional granules back in. Yes, Embossing Buddy. I know I went totally blank on that name too. Yeah. All right, so to die cut, we are going to use our base plate number 1, our clear plate number 2. Then we're going to put our cardstock with our dies on there. Move that up a little bit. And then we're going to put our other clear plate number 2 on the top. Okay, so I'm working with a little bit of delay here on the replay. So here we go. We'll feed that through now. So yeah, I'm just checking to see what you are all seeing on screen. So we'll just take that through gently. Oh, hey, Athena, how you going? Great to have you over here on my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. So there we go. So there we've got our cute little sentiment. And we've got... Oh, we're going to have to poke that one out. Okay. So when you take your dies off, make sure you clean your die of any additional little pieces that might be on there. If you don't, that can actually dint into your next piece that you go to die cut, and you don't want that. You don't want any, yeah, extra bits of cardstock on there. We'll leave that out because we are going to do some additional die cutting as well. Oh, in fact, let me do that now. I'll just take these out of here and then I'll show you the extra one that we're going to do. So I just want to save this washi tape. I keep reusing my washi tape until it totally falls apart, just to be a little bit more, you know, thrifty. I don't want to be wasting things or chucking things in the bin that don't need to go in the bin yet. So this die, because it's so fine, the cardstock does tend to stick in there, so we will have to release that, and we've got little release holes here. I'll show you how to do that in a moment, but while we've just got our die cutting machine out, we're going to cut the shadow. So the shadow of the sending, we're going to cut that out next. So that is this die here. Okay, we're just cutting that out of a piece of white. Now for the black and the white, I just used what was in my scraps. Okay, so I didn't have anything particularly measured for that. Are you heading out too, Megan? No worries. And you'll try to catch me more regularly now. Oh, no worries. I'll see you next time, Megan. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, so we've got that one there. We'll pop that back on our die sheet. And the other thing that I wanted to do was die cut some of these little flowers. Okay, so we're going to take just some scraps. So let's grab, I'm seeing what I've got in here. Okay, so let's grab a little scrap of, actually we can go that way and get lots more out of that. I'm going to grab a scrap of lemon lime twist, and this cuts 2 flowers at a time. Now, I did prepare some ahead of time as well, so I'm not going to be cutting all of them with you today. I just did them ahead of time to save time because I thought I'll be there forever cutting little flowers. All right, and then that I think is all for our die cutting for now. Okay, and so these little flowers are so adorable. There's one of them. Let's move my plates out of the way. Get my take your pick tool. So this is a handy dandy tool. Take your pick tool. I use this every time I craft. So just use those little release holes in the back, and there you've got these cute, cute little flowers. Look how adorable they are. They're so adorable. So I cut some of those in the lemon lime twist. I've gone ahead and I've cut them ahead of time. Lemon lime twist, azure afternoon. I did lemon lolly and bubble bath. So I cut a whole heap in all of those colors, but I've gone ahead and done them last night so that I didn't have to do them all with you today, because I thought we'll be there forever cutting little flowers. But aren't they just so cute? They're so adorable. These would be great for shaker cards as well. So, oh look, I've got a spare little blue one over here too that I didn't use. So there you go. And we're going to bling them up as well. Of course, because every card needs ribbon and bling. All right, so we'll pop these dies back here so that I don't lose them. And we're going to release this one. Now, when you're releasing this one, I first like to poke out the extra bits, like from the centers of the letters. But when you're poking these out, just be really, or when you're releasing it from the die, poke through these little release holes, but just be really careful as you take this out. Now, that one I just poked out. Did you see that drop down just here? That is the dot for the eye. So I don't want to lose that. I've got to keep that one. Because this is a very fine font that has die cut, it has a tendency to stretch. So just be really gentle when you're releasing this. There we go. See how it's so fine like that? Yeah, it can stretch very easily. So just be careful when you're releasing that, because I found that last night that it was stretching as I was releasing it. I wasn't being gentle enough. All right, and to adhere these together, so now we've got our two, oh, that's got my little eye there, I don't want to lose that. We're going to adhere these two together. Now you might think, oh my goodness, like that is going to be so fiddly because that is, you know, super fine. But if you use your, let's put that over there. If you use your silicone craft sheet and your fine tip glue pen, then it is much easier. Now we do have the adhesive sheets, so you can put adhesive sheets on the back of the black cardstock first before die cutting, and then die cut it with the adhesive sheets on there, and then basically you'd already have the adhesive on the back there, and it would kind of be like a sticker. I just didn't want to do that because I wasn't sure about the how that would go sticking it down, if it would be a little bit too flexible still. So trying to, yeah, I didn't want to get all sticky and caught up and everything, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do the fine tip glue pen. And I don't use this very often, to be honest, but for projects like this it is so awesome to use. So let me just clean the tip there. Okay, so here we go. So we've got our bubble or our outline. And the first time I did this, so I did a couple of different samples because I wasn't sure which color I was going to use to begin with. So I'll just get it started first on my silicone craft sheet. There we go. The good thing is with the silicone craft sheet is that the glue doesn't stick to it. It just rolls straight back off. I just washed this one the other day actually in the sink to give it a really good clean. And so it's, yeah, it's nice and clean now. So yeah, so what I was going to say is with this glue is the first time I made one of these last night, I didn't use enough glue. I was a little bit too stingy with my glue. And then the second one I made, I used a lot more glue because I had to go back in and add more glue as I was sticking it down, which was a little bit more fiddly. But if you add enough the first time, you'll be all good. So just add a good coating of glue. There we go. Once you've used the, oh, I'll just put a bit more up here. Once you've used the fine tip glue pen, it's important to cap it straight away because it does dry quite quickly. So you've got this little pin inside the lid. You just pop that pin. I like to rest the tip of the glue on my finger to help guide that pin in, and then it just goes straight in like that. So cap that straight away. I'm going to use my tweezers here to pick this up. In fact, I'm going to grab it about there and turn it over. Oh, that's not quite in the right spot. Let's go here like that. All right, so as you are lining this up, now this is the most fiddly part of the whole project today. As you're lining this up, I like to start just on one end, secure that down, but don't press it too hard yet. Now remember I said this is stretchy because it's such a fine font, so you might find that you need to push it in a little bit. I found especially with the N, push it in a little bit so that you're getting it nice and lined up within the shadow of the white there. There we go. Okay, and then you can just push that all down once you've got that nicely lined up. I did that so much better this time. See, I had practice last night. My practice last night paid off. All right, and then with the eye, I found it much easier to pop the glue. Now, if you wanted to, like this little piece for the eye is so tiny. If you found it too difficult to manage that, you could just put an embellishment there on the top of the eye for the dot. But this is how I did it last night, is I just got my glue running first on my silicone craft sheet. There we go. And you just want to release the pressure a little bit on your glue bottle to just get a tiny dab of glue and put that on the tip of your eye first. Just put that lid back in. And then I'm going to use my putty tip of my Take Your Pick tool. It's got this sticky putty here, which is great for picking up small items, embellishments, and things like that. I'm going to pick up the dot of my eye with that and then place that on the glue. Now I might even have too much glue there. So I have got a tiny bit too much glue. So then what I'll do is I'll grab my Take Your Pick, oh sorry, what do you call it? Paper piercing end. And I'm just going to scrape around the edge of that dot to remove that excess glue. And then if you find that it's shifted a little bit, you can just use your tip to just move that around. Oh, now it's moving too much. There we go. Okay, you stay there. You stay there, little dot. I'll use my tweezers. There we go. Okay. So there we have that. Now that glue, that will dry there on my silicone craft sheet, but then these are some of the ones that I had last night. It's just going to come straight off. Look at that. Got that bit off and that bit off because they've already dried from last night. It just comes straight off. So it cleans straight off your silicone craft sheet. So I'll pop that one to the side. Oops, there goes my glue bottle. Alrighty. Okay, next step. Okay, so now we've got all the die cutting done. And what I did is I have, I've lost some. I have all of my little flowers in here that I die cut. And what I did is I put a little rhinestone in the center of each one of them to bling them up. How cute are they? Look at that. Aren't they just adorable? So I've got those already ready to adhere down to our card. Okay, with the little bling. And the good thing too is having the bling there like that, you can just pop these down with glue dots now. Or with glue, but we're going to be adhering them to vellum, and I don't like to use a liquid glue on vellum, so we're probably going to use glue dots. Okay, so let's do our layers for our card. Here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to not adhere them yet to my card base. I'm going to put these layers together first before I put them on the card base, because then I want to put some ribbon on them as well. Okay. Oh, hey Amanda, how you going? You found me, yay. Great to have you here. All right, so let's use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue just to put these layers together. So we'll do them one at a time. So I'm going to first attach my yellow layer to my pink layer. So this is the lemon lolly, and I'm going to attach that to Bubble Bath. And we are going to have them line up so that that top edge lines up perfectly. So if you want to make sure that you get them lined up, just stand them up on their end like that and just sort of slide that down to make sure they are lining up perfectly along that edge, and then we can line up along that edge as well. Oh, I didn't give you the measurements of these ones, did I? All of these measurements will be on my blog when I put this project up on my blog. But the bubble bath is, where did I put my measurements now? I've dumped everything on top of it. There we go. The bubble bath piece is 14.85 by 9 centimeters, and the lemon lolly is 14.85 by 8.5 centimeters. Then the designer series paper is 14.85 by 8.2. Okay, so we're going to put that one on now as well. Okay, again, lining up along that top edge. You might be wondering why I'm assembling this not on the card front. It's because we're going to add our ribbon. We're going to wrap our ribbon. So again, I'll stand that up on its end, slide that piece down, make sure I've got it lined up right against that edge before I push it all down. There we go. Okay, so those pieces are all ready to go on the card. However, we want to put some ribbon on there first, so we're not ready to stick it just yet. Today I am using the white glittered organdy ribbon. You'll find this in the online store. So this is one of the carryover products. It's gone into the online exclusives on the online store, so you won't find it in a catalogue. Okay, so if you're looking for it, you'll need to look there. All right, so we need a strip that's going to be a bit wider, or a bit longer, I should say, than our card front. And we'll snip that there. So I've gone about 1 centimetre each end, so that's probably a total of 16 or 17 centimetres. And then I've already created a bow with another piece. Okay, so we're going to have a separate bow and we're going to attach that over the ribbon connection. So is that back? Let me just check. Just waiting for my other devices to catch up. We're back. I think we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. Can you all see me and hear me? What's happening? I don't know what's happening today. Not having much luck, am I, with this? Let's see, is that... I'm not sure, are we back or not? You'll have to let me know in the comments if you can see me. Let me just refresh my screen again. So I'm not seeing comments. There we go. Okay. So I'm back. Oh, thank you. I don't know what happened. My connection just dropped out. I'm so sorry. Okay, thank you, Athena. You can see me and hear me fine. Oh, good. Good, good, good. I'll just adjust that camera a little bit again because that's tipped down again. How is that? Let's get that right. It's just not happy today. We're having all sorts of issues today. Oh, it's all right. We will keep going. Okay, all good. Oh, thank you, Brenton. Awesome. Good. I don't know what happened. My internet connection seemed to have dropped out. So I'm so sorry about that. And I don't know what the last thing was that I said that you saw. So anyway, we're up to ribbon. We're using the organdy, the white glittered organdy ribbon. And with this ribbon, I was just about to say, when I realized that the live stream had stopped or paused, the glitter is just on one side of the ribbon. So just be careful when you're adhering that you adhere it down with the glittered side up, okay? Otherwise you'll only see the back side of the glitter and it won't be as sparkly. So we've adhered our ribbon to our layers, okay? And I've got an additional piece that I have already tied a bow with, and we're going to add that later, okay? So I'll pop that in my little container with my little flowers that are all ready to go, and we'll pop them on after. All right, so this piece is ready to adhere to the card front now, so we'll do that. I'm going to use some tear and tape to do that, because I've got ribbon there too. So I like to, when I've got ribbon that overlaps onto the back there of my card, I like to run tear and tape across it to hold that on really well. You can use some of the tape runners. They will work too, but sometimes they catch on that ribbon a little bit. So I just find that tear and tape is helpful, and it helps to hold that ribbon in place too. Even though we've used a glue dot, the glue dots, sometimes they can slide a little bit. So yeah, if you accidentally pull the ribbon a little bit or something like that, like it can actually pull the glue dot. So by attaching additional tear and tape, that helps to hold it in place. Okay, so we will do the top part first. I'll just make sure that's pressed on really well. There we go. Okay, so the tear and tape, you can tear it. I've just always cut my tape because I just find that a lot easier. Now we want to line this up with that top folded edge. Okay, so I'm not going to, it's going to align side to side as well. So I'm not going to press it too hard just yet. Now, if you are using multi-purpose liquid glue, it does give you that wiggle time that you can make sure that you line that all the way up. And I don't have that lined all the way up to the top. Oh, it's pretty close. It's quite forgiving because the card base is white. So if it's not quite all the way to the top, you should be fine as long as you've got those edges lined up. You could even have it down a little bit from the edge if you wanted to see a little bit of a white edge at that back edge too, if you wanted to. Okay, and now I'm just going to take the tear and tape off the other sides. And press that down really well. There we go. Okay, so that's our card front. Now, this piece of vellum, this piece measures 14.85 by 6 centimeters, and that's going to go on the front here to just soften that. Oh, I've got a little glittery dot under there from my ribbon. There we go. It's going to soften the designer series paper. But before we attach that, because this is opaque, you can see through it, we want to make sure that wherever we put our adhesive, that adhesive is going to be covered up with what we're putting on the top, or what we're applying over the top of that. Okay, so you can do a couple of things. You can either attach these first to the vellum before adhering it to your card front, and then flip it over and put your adhesive where they are going. Or what I sometimes like to do is I take a pencil and I mark where these are going. So I put a little pencil mark where these are going, and then that's where I attach my adhesive. But I think I'm probably going to use glue dots today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these first to my vellum. So the vellum is still not attached to the card yet. Okay, but I'm just setting it in place. Now you can either have it coming all the way from the top there, or you can have a little gap. I'm going to have a little gap at the top there, so you can see some of the bright colour there, and then you can see some of the bright colour here where the ribbon is as well, just to sort of bring that, to make it sort of look more like it flows. All right, so we're going to bring in our mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're going to put some minis on the backs of these pieces. I'll grab my Take Your Pick tool again. And we'll just apply these to the backs of these pieces. Now make sure you use plenty so that it supports the sentiment there. Got a brand new sheet here. It's always nice starting a brand new sheet of dimensionals, isn't it? Oops. There we go. Has anybody else got this suite? Have you got the suite that coordinates with the paper, the Bright and Beautiful suite? Have you created with it yet? So as I was saying earlier in my live, I don't have the entire suite. I only have the designer series paper at this stage. So I'm using a different, bundle with it today. Just focusing on that designer series paper and showing a different way of using it with other products, that you might already have in your stash. And if you don't have these products, if you don't have this bundle in your stash, you might have something else that you can do something similar with. All right, there we go. Okay, so I've got those ready. So we're going to line those up where we want to have them. Now my vellum is starting to be a bit curly, so I'm going to flip it over, bring that down a little bit. So you'll find sometimes with the vellum, it'll want to curl more one way than the other. So if you're putting it on your card, it's better to have it curling downwards so that it's not going to want to try and kick up, you know, off your card. Right, so if I have that lined up about there, I'll work out where I want to have these and position them in place before I stick anything down. Something like that. Okay, so I'll adhere this one first. Just remove the backings from your dimensionals. So the dimensionals come in, they're basically double-sided adhesive foam. They come in the minis. They come in the regular size. They come in a black multi-pack that has regulars and minis in it. They come in sheets that you can cut your own size and shapes. And then we also have and all of those ones are all the same depth, the same height. And then we also have the adhesive strips, and the adhesive strips are a little bit deeper in dimension, and they're really great for shaker cards because they come in strips and they're quite pliable, so you can go around different shapes. You can mold them around circles and stuff like that. So if you're doing shaker cards with circles or different shapes that, you know, are not necessarily rectangle or square, you can actually mold them around because they're quite flexible. All right, so I've removed the backings of these, and now we're going to pop this down. It's going to go about there. There we go. Okay, and then, so I'm still not attaching it yet. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these little flowers that I made last night. I sat and die cut last night. We're not actually using all of these though, because I had some spare ones in there. Oh, and I've got one that's lost its bling. I wonder which color that was. So we're using, let's see, I've got 2 pinks. I want 3 blues. So we've lost the embellishment of one of the blues. And then we want 3 green ones. 1, 2, 3. And we're using 2 yellow ones. So these ones are spare. Okay, so I've lost the rhinestone off this one. So I went ahead and applied the rhinestones to all of those as well, also to save time. So I've just used the rhinestone basic jewels for this one. Oh, this camera, it keeps just falling down. It's fallen down again, hasn't it? I can see it's yeah, it's at a weird angle now. Let's see if I can fix that up a little bit. Is that going to, I don't know that I can move that any more than what it already is. Wow, how did we get so crooked? All right, hang on a minute, everyone. I'm just going to fix this up because this is going to annoy the heck out of me if I don't. Oops. Sorry, everybody. I should have covered up the camera. I'm probably making you all really dizzy. All right, I'll just do this up. It's going to be squeaky. Not having a good day with this camera today, am I? It's at a bit of a weird angle, but hopefully it's a little bit better than what it was. Oh, I'm going to have to do something about that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to use some glue dots to attach these. And we'll use our old glue dot roll again. So what I'm going to do is actually put this on here, and I'll use my putty end to pick these up, and I'm going to just put them onto my glue dots. Now I'm trying to line up the glue dot so that it's in the middle because the flowers aren't too much bigger than the glue dot. So we have to make sure that we line them up to cover those glue dots. So what we're actually creating is little stickers. And this is a much quicker and easier way of applying them to your projects. All right, so now we've got all of these cute little flower stickers. And these ones we don't need, so let's move them out of the way, otherwise I'll get confused where I'm up to. There we go. So there we've got all of our little glue, our little flowers ready to go. Okay, now I'm going to put them down first, because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this whole piece of vellum over, and we're going to put glue dots behind all of those different pieces that are on the vellum, and that's how we're going to adhere the vellum to the front of our card. Okay, so we want, let's start with a blue one. A blue one down here. And a green one down there with it. So I already had these planned out last night where I wanted them. Oops, not there. Not there. And we'll take a yellow one up here. So we're just going to decorate these. So these colors are the colors that are in the designer series paper, and this is just a fun way of having some sort of element on there that's not balloons or parties or things like that. So as I said, this paper is great for birthdays and parties and all of that, but I wanted to show a different way of using them that wasn't for birthdays or parties or kids cards. So this card could be for anybody, and just a really happy, bright, cheerful sort of card that you can send to brighten up somebody's day. Another one down there, and then I think we've got one more yellow one which is going to go down here. Now you could do these either in a sort of cluster, or you could do them sort of higgledy-piggledy how I've got them. Just depends on what you want it to look like. Oh, one more blue one. There we go. I thought I was missing one. One more blue one, which is going to go up here. Yeah, about there. There we go. So that's how they're all going to sit. Okay, so now if we flip that whole piece over, we can see where we can put our adhesives. So as I said, you can either put tear and tape along there or glue dots, but we're going to use glue dots today because we can put glue dots behind each of those little flowers as well to help hold that all down. All right, so I'm going to use my take a pick tool to pick up these glue dots, and I'm going to put glue dots down on all of these pieces here. And then we'll have lots of adhesive on the back of our vellum, so it's going to hold nicely to our card, but without having that adhesive being able to be seen. So the glue dots are about the same size as a mini dimensional, thereabouts. All right, so we'll just keep going with these. I am using quite a few glue dots today. I don't normally use quite so many glue dots. We're using lots and lots today. Oops. There we go. And we want to make sure that we put some down underneath the label here as well. Oh, that one just rolled up in a ball. Hang on a sec, let's see if I can flatten it. Oh, there, I got it. got it flattened back down, which was good. Okay, we are nearly there. And then we'll just have to add our bow to our card, and then we'll be done. So I probably don't need to add a glue dot under each of these flowers. So I might just add one there under that one, and maybe the green one at the edge, because we've got all that other adhesive on those parts there. So we'll just add those there. Oh, actually I might do one on the pink one at the top too, just to hold that pink edge, the top edge down. I was going to say the pink edge, the top edge. There we go. All right, so now that's all covered in. Let's add some down here under this green one as well, just to hold that bottom part down as well. Okay, there we go. All right, so this piece is ready to adhere now to our card. So we'll leave a gap, we'll try and leave an even gap between our ribbon and then that top edge as well. So we've got an even bright, so we've got a bright strip there and a bright strip here below our ribbon. And then we'll just push that all down where we added all that adhesive. And that'll hold the vellum on beautifully. So it's not going to curl, it's not going to lift off, it's going to stay right where we put it. And lastly, we'll just add our little bow, and again, using a glue dot. So using lots and lots of glue dots today. Let's see, so that is the reverse side of my bow. So we'll add a glue dot there to the back of that. And then my bow is just going to go down here, like so. And there we go. Let's pop my tools away. So there is my finished little card, and my inspiration was from the Saying Thanks kit. It was actually this card here that was my inspiration, but as you can see, it turned out really, really differently. So what do you think? Just a really fun card that you can send for any occasion, just to say hello to somebody. So there you go. So using the beautiful Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper and the Sending Thanks stamp set and the Sending Smiles stamp set and the Sending Dies. So there you go. So there is our project finished. So it actually ended up taking me a bit longer than I expected to finish that, to complete that card, but I think it was worth it. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera back to face now, so that I can say goodbye to you all in person, face to face. So bear with me while I just do that. Here we go. All right, so just get this camera ready. Line it all up. And this time it won't drop because it's now not holding all of that weight. So it just, yeah, it doesn't like, even though it's got like the 3 clamps, so you are supposed to be able to have it extended all the way out. They just don't like to hold. And usually when I do my Facebook Lives, I don't have it extended in the same way. I have it a little bit differently. So yeah, I don't know. I might need to play with that a little bit more in between times to try and get that worked out as to how I can, yeah, have that sitting really nicely. So anyway, so there we go. So there's our beautiful card today. So I hope you liked that. There's an up close, let's go this side so I haven't got the lights. There's an up close look at it. Just really, really cute, bright, fun colors. But notice the vellum has just softened that Designer Series paper, so it's not too bright and in your face, as I would say. It's just really nice and soft. So there you go. And you can use, and if you don't have these dies, you can use something else. Just use a large stamped, sentiment stamp, and maybe some other different florals, or I was even thinking of maybe some of the little animals would go really nicely on there from some of our animal stamp sets. Yeah, so many different things that you can do, but just a different way of using that designer series paper outside of using it with the suite. So there you go. All right, now I'm not seeing any comments. Let me just see. If I've missed your comment, I apologize. I will go back and have a look at all of those. But thank you all so much for those of you who have been with me live today. Thank you for everyone who is watching the replay later on, both here on YouTube and over on Facebook. Now, if you haven't already subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, please feel free to do that. You'll find the subscribe button down below the video. All of my links are there as well if there's anything I can help you with. Remember, I have my product shares, just grabbing my little flyers. Remember, I've got my product shares. The registration for those is actually closing. Sorry, I lost connection again. Not having a good day today. So many challenges with this video today, but you know, we have to keep going. Yeah, so if there's anything I can help you with, or if you need catalogs, then please get in contact with me. And again, the links are all down here in the description. So have a great weekend, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again next Monday over on my on my Facebook Live at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I will share that video over here to YouTube once I finish filming over there on Facebook. So have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye.